Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very, very exciting segment where we talk about something which is very close to my heart, which is travel. So we're going to talk about travel updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz India Travels. And of course, welcome to this 61st episode, Tanvi.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you so much, everyone, once again for such an overwhelming response. Today, again, we got so many exciting news and going to share with you all of that. So before we go ahead, just a little disclaimer that any information we share today is general information only. As you know, there are rules and regulations changing every single day, and individual cases may differ as well. Umesh.
And of course, they do. And as Tanvi has mentioned, that we need to be mindful because there's so much anxiety at the moment. The borders are opening, flights are coming in, but there are also some talks about some of the numbers that might be going up. So what can we do and what can't we do? You have come to the right place. You'll find all the answers to that. Well, moving on with the Tanvi, let's get straight into it. What's the update of Australia?
So many exciting news, guys. Those especially who are in Queensland, congratulations. The state borders are finally opened on Monday, the 13th of December. And guess what? I was reading the facts and it was really amazing to see that nearly 10,000 passengers have traveled on 13th of December. Close to 100 Qantas and Jetstar flights on and to from Queensland. So that's really quite exciting. This week, these two airlines will operate around 700 flights as well to and from Queensland across around 28 routes in Victoria and New South Wales. So this compares with around 100 flights per week when borders were actually still closed. But this is really fantastic. That means there are so many exciting around, and definitely Christmas and New Year around as well, so you guys have chance to meet your families interstate. So that's really quite exciting. So reopening of the borders also sees Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, Brisbane returning to their pre-COVID position in top 3 busiest air routes in the country. Behind Melbourne and Sydney is actually generally on the top, but this time Queensland is really going crazy. So flights between Queensland and ACT will also commence this week with Jetstar inaugural Canberra to Brisbane flights, which is taking off this Friday, which means tomorrow. So Jetstar also today placed around 500,000 fares on sale for travel from January 2022, with domestic flights leading. Oh my god, I can see this fare and you guys probably won't believe it, like $29. Oh my god, it's super crazy, while international services priced around $109. So 7-day sale already started on 60 domestic destination and 28 international routes, and I'm sure it's going to be super crazy. So you guys might definitely look into it. Next is from Virgin Australia. So guys, for Virgin Australia also you can see some really amazing fares and so many amazing routes as well. So really domestic Australia is going super crazy right now. Virgin Australia is also taking flights from United Airlines, so and with their 2 carriers to partner from April. So when you guys booking the domestic flight Virgin Australia, you'll see even internationally, which we'll be talking a bit later about international. But since we are talking about Virgin Australia, I thought I'll tell you guys that in future you will see a lot of amazing connection of Virgin Australia with United Airlines as well. Next is since Queensland state borders are open, there are so many exciting things going around. There's some exciting party, those who are in Queensland in Sunshine Coast, and they call it the Australia biggest welcome party ever. So they got like so many amazing things. This festival is actually starting from tomorrow around 4 o'clock. So that's a celebration of Queensland domestic borders open. So please go and check out. You have so many surprises. I won't tell you what it is. So it is up to you to check that what is exciting in that particular place. Now Queensland has been elevated to a low risk state by the Western Australia. I think this was a bit of concern for many people before because Queensland was in high risk, but happily Queensland is in low risk, and I think maybe credit goes to this new border opening thing. So thank you to all the everyone in government also involved and for taking really right decision and give everyone really the great gift of Christmas and New Year, I would say. So meaning that travel from Queensland to Western Australia is also permitted with 14 days of self quarantine. Double vaccination, COVID testing is definitely mandatory. The highlighted risk level is due to COVID, as we said, the Queensland border opened. So Western Australia will also proceed with its safe transition plan from 5th of February. Like we discussed with you guys in the last few weeks as well, that people from Western Australia really had very hard time in last few weeks because they could not go there and really so many issues. But happily they have that safe transition plan which is implementing from 5th of February. So when the state will open its border to interstate and international visitors, the date is based on basically again 90% of double vaccination target projection. So with new testing requirement is definitely to be introduced, but at the moment they are planning the safe transition plan from 5th of February. With this one you might see there are a lot more updates in between, but at this stage those who are planning to fly or even domestic as well, you guys might think of, you will be able to fly to Western Australia around 5th of February domestic.
Quite an update there, and looking at those flights that have been put on there, $29, that is just crazy. But of course, it will be for limited time. People will need to get online and book them ASAP. Well, moving on, let's go to and look at some of the updates for Australia to India flights.
So Australia to India, guys, let me give you a bit of a snapshot first before we go ahead. So mainly, once again, the same flight which we mentioned last week, except there is exciting thing which I'll be telling in India to Australia one. So you have Emirates flight and Emirates and Qatar going from all major cities of Australia to India. You have Air India going from Melbourne and Sydney. You have Qantas going from Sydney, Melbourne, then Adelaide and Darwin. You have Japan Airlines going from Sydney. We have on certain days going Etihad and Sri Lankan Airlines from Sydney and Melbourne as well. And connections from all other cities can be made for mostly all these airlines. So apart from that, you might see some charters going on, guys, but remember, if you see online, there'll be a lot more flights are popping up, but these all other lines not reliable at this stage. So before even booking these flights as well, you need to check whether these flights are definitely going. So this is basically a snapshot. Now we can go city by city.
Well, that is quite rightfully said, that so many different flights do pop up from time to time. And so many deals, and you keep getting your text messages and you keep getting some emails about all these flights, but please do check them out first. Well, okay, moving, that is exciting. So let's move on and let's take a look. Let's go city by city. So what flight options do we have from Brisbane at this point in time?
So from Brisbane, guys, first of all, if you're planning to fly for this Christmas or New Year, there are really very less options flying from Australia to India, and it's better if you guys fly actually in January, or even if you go after Lodi around mid of January and return back. Guess what? Brisbane got direct flight launched just 2 days back. So now you guys, even Emirates got a return flight going straight from Brisbane and coming back to Brisbane as well. And I've seen the crazy fare. If you go at end of January and coming back, guess what was the fare? Just $1,800 return fare is what I can see as well. So once again, if it is not important for you guys to go this week or remain in December, better to go a bit later. Flight wise, you have Emirates flights going every Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays. You have Qatar flights also going on Thursdays, Saturdays and Mondays. And other than that, if you're okay with Air India or Qantas, we can connect you via Sydney and Melbourne. Just remember, guys, for these two flights, generally they go actually in the morning from Melbourne and Sydney, which means if you go from Brisbane, you have to go one night before. So just consider that. If you are single or you're getting better fare, you might take that option. And same thing in case of Etihad and Sri Lanka as well, that these flights going via Melbourne and Sydney, but it can be connected same day as well. But definitely most preferred option from Brisbane would be Emirates and Qatar still at this stage.
Yes, and that is, of course, quite rightfully said. Well, right now, moving on, let's go to Sydney and see what the options do we have from Sydney.
Sydney, as always, you guys are the luckiest one. You got the non-stop flight, 12 hours, Air India and Qantas. They were not much available this week, but they are really going super excitingly amazing. You just leave in morning and you are home in evening, just in 12 hours. Other than that, you guys got a Japan line. Sometimes they have really amazing fares, and Emirates in Qatar. Also, basically, you guys have at least 6 flights a week. And pretty much emergency bookings are also going all from Sydney. So even people are from other states, majority of people we are sending via Sydney. So you guys got the maximum options, and fares are amazing as well. Once again, if you can avoid this blackout dates and go in January, you might get a return for $1,500 or $1,800 as well from HT.
And so that makes sense. It does make sense to, defer it for a little while and take advantage of that wonderful offer. Well, right now, what used to be our lucky city before Sydney started getting all these deals was Melbourne. So what's the update from Melbourne?
So Melbourne, same thing for you guys as well. You got Emirates and Qatar doing really great. Apart from that, you have Air India Qantas non-stop 12 hours flight. You have Etihad and Sri Lanka also going. So once again, you guys also have 5 to 6 flights, but I would say not as much as Sydney got. And fare-wise as well, the cheapest fares mostly are from Sydney at this stage, but you guys are definitely second luckiest ones. But amazing options, 5 to 6 flights a week. Amazing.
6 flights a week. That's amazing. So look at how things have turned around a little bit. Well, right now, moving on, let's go to South Australia and look at Adelaide.
So Adelaide, as we said before as well, there are quite a few things changed and some extra flights added, but still you have a direct flight Qatar with one stop, which is going directly. Emirates, we are still connecting most of the flights via Melbourne. We still check if there is anything maybe can add up in January, because Emirates has added up a lot more fares and a lot more sectors recently. And also you guys got the Air India and Qantas option. Once again, if you guys take those options, you have to connect overnight, but yes, from Adelaide you have direct non-stop 12 hours flight as well. So that's the most amazing option you guys have from Adelaide now, and they are giving return options to you too, and it can be like $2,500 to $3,000 just non-stop 12 hours Qantas flight you can take. Amazing.
Non-stop Qantas flight, that is again pretty good, because they're quite reliable there as well. So moving on, let's go to Western Australia, and last but not the least, let's take a look at Perth. So what are the options from Perth?
So in Perth, you have Emirates and Qatar are really doing great from there. So once again, it depends again when you're buying, but generally they are the lowest fares you guys get from Perth. Air India and Qantas, Sri Lanka, Etihad, all can be connected for you guys as well. But remember, if you connect the domestic flight from Perth to any city in Australia, generally fares are expensive unless we are connecting within the same flight. For example, Sri Lankan Airlines and Etihad, we can connect the domestic flight, and in case of Qantas also we can connect domestic flight. But Air India, if you buy that, then you have to book the domestic flight separately, because Air India doesn't make connection with any domestic carriers in Australia. So I would say the best option definitely if you can get the Emirates and Qatar first, and after that you can take off Qantas and then Sri Lankan or Etihad. But there are plenty of options. Directly you guys would have at least 4 flights a week with one stop, but if you are okay with 2 stops, you might get 6 to 7 days.
So those options are there for you. Well, right now, moving on, one of the things that a lot of people are asking or talking about are updates from India or India to Australia flights.
So India, guys, there is a lot of things happening, and good news to you all, and I'm sure all of you must have got that students are welcome back to Australia already from 15th of December. So it was really not easy for students. I know the 2 weeks pause was really very, very stressful for students, but finally you guys are back, and there are so many other categories also added on HomeAware's website, which you guys can go through if you are carrying any other temporary visas. But really quite exciting that the students can come back as well. Flight wise, guys, as I mentioned, in the Brisbane sector, we got a direct flight to Brisbane now. I know there are so many parents and so many people who are waiting because of just a domestic sector. We were adding before, the fares for Brisbane were really very expensive, but this time they are cheaper. But guys, remember one thing, that it's not really 100% clear that if you guys come to Brisbane directly, then whether they're going to accept that 100%, because it's not officially completely confirmed. So keep that in mind, that in case they don't allow by that time, or we don't reach 90% that time, then they might reroute you as well. But it's still a good idea to take direct flight, because later on anyway airlines will give you the option. Flight wise from India, apart from Emirates, you have Qatar option. Air India is also coming, Qantas. So Air India, Qantas is definitely rocking at this stage. In fact, Emirates have come up with really very amazing offers. I can see maybe $1,500, $1,600 one-way flight as well from India to Australia. Even for Brisbane, the same fare. That is around 15th to 20th January. I can see they are plenty of availability. Started just 2 days back. Other than that, you guys can have maybe Japan Airlines, but remember in Japan Airlines generally you have a very long haul. So if you can be in Tokyo and eat nice Japan food for 36 hours, then you are good to go, because generally they have 36 hours halt. And then there are certain days you have some charters coming. But remember, as I always mention and want to remind you guys again, that charter means that these flights are non-refundable, non-changeable, which means you have no choice to change them. If airlines cancel, then you get the full refund back, or you can change it as well, but you yourself can't do anything about that. So rethink before you take any charters. And other than that, we have a certain groups of Sri Lankan Airlines and Etihad also coming. So there is a warning for you guys, that if you are checking, I know those who are especially India, you check a lot on websites and all. There are so many scams also happening, which we hear every now and then, that you were giving some particular flights and the flight is not operating. So guys, I would say please use your common sense and access the really right information. So it is very important that you book the right flight, because in case that flight is not going and you booked online and you apply for refund, remember the refund may take up to 6 months in COVID times. So your money is stuck, and if you book different airlines, you have to pay for your pocket again and wait for that refund to arrive. So taking right decision is definitely most important right now, and I would definitely recommend you guys to take reliable and refundable options, or at least changeable options. So in case you need to change, or any government rule changes or anything, you are covered on that and you don't lose the whole money. Other than that, everything looks exciting, and maybe in next couple of weeks we are expecting more flights to arrive. Singapore might start as well. They were paused for a while, especially between not taking it all between India to Singapore, just on a special flights. But maybe next few weeks we're expecting them to start as well. Otherwise, there are plenty of flights January onwards. Mishi.
Well. That's quite an update there as well. Well, right now, let's take a look at what about all the international borders. Our borders are opening internationally. So what updates do we have internationally?
So internationally, let's start from Qantas. So Qantas is, going back to Rome again. So they are reigniting that particular sector. So they'll fly to Rome for the first time in many, many years from 22nd of June 2022. So Qantas will operate around 3 flights, Sydney, Perth, Rome per week, and only direct flights from Australia to continental Europe. The new flight will aim to meet demand over the European tourist season, and that will cut more than 3.5 hours of the current time, and the fastest travel to Rome as well. So that's really going to be exciting, especially for those who are thinking to go to Italy. So June 22 is the date, and that is 22 June 22 is when they're planning to start. Next is from Emirates. They have relaunched services between Dubai and London, with the route being served for a daily basis for the Airbus A380, and plans to go double daily on 27th of January 2022. That means just in next month. And there will be that also means that those who are flying on Emirates, you guys have a lot more options to London, because this all flight will be connected, and there are a lot more coach shares has been added as well. As we, I think pretty much in last 61 weeks, and not even a single day we didn't tell you all about Emirates. So definitely very proud of Emirates for giving us really great service and adding something or else every other day. So that's fantastic. Next is from Etihad. They have also confirmed a new code share agreement with Italy, new national carrier called ITA Airways. The fact we'll see the ITA AZ code placed on Etihad services from Abu Dhabi to Rome and Milan. And Etihad will also code share on AZ services onwards to so many other destinations around the world as well. So, which means that when we are flying from Australia and we want to go to Italy, so I think Italy is kind of rocking in Australia at the moment and also around the world, which is great. So we'll have a lot more code shares and a lot more options with Etihad to Italy as well in coming days. Next is from Delta Airlines. They have announced that customers who have bought the cheapest basic economy flight will no longer able to get the frequent flyers or the stated credits as well. So they have recently changed the policy. The new agreement will also see those who have booked the basic economy flights and no later than no changes or the flight credit. So there are so many little changes actually being happened. So rather than going through it, I would say if you guys have booked Delta Airlines or you are thinking to book that, then please check their rules, because for not every flights you will be able to get the frequent flyers. I know many of you love frequent flyers, but there are many more airlines who are giving you frequent flyer options, and it's not like they're not giving that completely. It's just there are some fares who are really very basic in nature, so it's hard for airlines to give you frequent flyer and everything. Next is from Qatar Airways. They have partnered with Golf Australia to provide travelers with the chance to win 2 return business class tickets. Exciting, Macy. So to win, running to win this Golf Australia, members need to complete their details and also play a round of golf, as they can play between 16th December to 30th of Jan. With each round, you guys will be going into the draw, and the Golf Australia members will also get around 10% save on that. So it's just not that, guys. Maybe in past you must have heard there are so many companies doing special golf tours. This is just a new thing which you have probably heard. Recently, still in the COVID era we are, but generally there are so many amazing offers with airlines and to different countries for the golf lovers. So this is basically information for the golf lovers over there. So next is from Finnair. They have also confirmed that its passengers from Australia who are transiting in Singapore are not classified as traveling under VTL. So VTL means Vaccinated Travel Lane arrangement. So meaning they can fly to and from any destination in Europe as long as they transit in Singapore under the airline's transit permits with Qantas, Jetstar, British Airways from any port in Australia. So please keep that in mind, that whichever airlines you guys are flying from, if you're going through a Singapore Airlines, they have a different vaccinated travel lane. In fact, this vaccinated travel lane is being implemented by other countries as well, but rules and regulations and how they are doing the transit thing can be different as well. I also want to give you guys bit of update about the Singapore Airlines and Air India combination. So earlier they were doing a throughout baggage. For example, if you transit from Brisbane, you are getting baggage throughout in Delhi, while you have 2 different PNRs. For example, Brisbane, Singapore, Colombo, and then you are going from Colombo to Delhi. So you will be getting baggage directly in Delhi. But from 1st of December, they have changed the rule. Now you have to recheck in baggage again. And remember, guys, whenever you have to take the baggage again, in most cases you have to cross immigration, and immigration generally asks you to take the visa if you have to take visa for that particular country. For Australians, luckily there are many countries who are exempting Australians to take visa, but there are some countries such as Sri Lanka Airlines, Sri Lankan airport as well, they want you to take the visa. So I would recommend you guys to carry USD with you if you are taking that route. But Singapore is basically just going to Colombo. You might not see direct connections going from India to Singapore, Singapore to India, but definitely going from Australia to Singapore at this stage. Next is from American Airlines. They are scaling back to some of their international network on 2022, citing delivery delays of their Boeing, which was 787 aircraft. If you remember a few weeks back, we told you that they're planning to increase some more flights, but unfortunately, they could not get the delivery on time, so they are planning the services now compromise around 80% of the pre-pandemic capacity with long-haul scheduling. So the American Airlines discontinued service to Hong Kong as well as some of the places in England, especially and Ireland as well. So you might see American Airlines, some of the flights are interrupted. So if you are there and you have booked, I would really recommend you guys to check on that. Next is from cruises. So P&O Cruises Australia this morning announced that further extension of its cruising pause until mid-April 2022. The move follows there was 2 months extension of the current biosecurity orders, which was now banned foreign cruise from Australian waters from until 17th of February. So if you guys, there are some cruises who are still saying that they are doing it. In fact, some NCL and some cruises line have got some amazing offers as well. So it depends on when you have booked, because majority of cruises are, I think, pretty much people have booked for 2022 and or after. but you might see that if you plan to go just in next few weeks or next few months, then it might be interrupted. So please check if you have booked any of the cruises. I definitely got this update from P and O, and there are so many exciting things, guys, in terms of hotels also going around the world, which you guys can see. So many different changes happening, especially for Christmas and New Year, even for, I would say, guys, while researching, for this particular episode as well, I've seen it just, the Christmas and New Year, just not in coming weeks. It's pretty much the whole year. So everyone is, kind of filling up that gap which we had in last 2 years. So now it's Christmas, New Year everywhere. So the whole year, there are so many exciting offers. Even the domestic travel as well. There are so many short tours as well, which are on sale and really doing amazing. You can take all this information from our website as well, which is www.ausindiatravel.com.au. Under the Australia Tours section, there are every information you would need. You can just click on, whatever destination you need, and there are plenty of information on, even on New Zealand tours are there, and so many other informations too. So a lot more to do. And once again, if you guys have not done vaccination, remember, everything will open only if you do the right thing. We all do the vaccination, so we have not done that so far. I would really recommend you guys to please get your double dose vaccination done so that we all can fly nicely around the world and all more lines can come up as well. Amazing.
Yeah, and that's correct. We do the right thing, then the right thing will be done as well. So, everybody needs to get that vaccination. I know there's lots of talks going on about many people, but, Tanvi has recommended, I personally am recommending to all the viewers and listeners, please do the right thing. Go ahead and get the jab, because very soon, even for the movies now, they are checking that. So this is no jab, no movie. So, it is in your best interest and also in the best interest of humanity, community at large. So please, for community and humanity's sake, do it. Well, okay, moving on. So that was all quite interesting. I was planning on whether go the cruising or go the Finn Airway, but there's so many choices that's happening there. So if someone is like me trying to plan things or whatever, what tips would you have for them?
So once again, guys, definitely I would say, I always web check in. Doesn't matter you're doing a domestic flight or international flight, except for the charter flights. All flights are there. And in fact, if you're flying domestically as well, please remember, in most of the flights, you have to do a COVID test 48 hours before international flight. Not only in Australia, but in India as well. Some airlines are not allowing you at all. And also your vaccination certificate, please keep that with you. It is very important, even you are doing a domestic travel. I have seen recently for Indigo in India, they wanted travelers to be double vaccinated and show the certificate at the check-in too, and people were not prepared. It was just fortunate enough that they called their son and it's all sorted. So definitely recommended. It's like, guys, you are going with your ID, right? Wherever you go, they want you to show your ID. So your vaccination certificate is like your ID these days, so best to carry. I think every one of you must have got the smartphone. At least carry that certificate with you on the phone, if not in physical copy. And also the COVID test, please check the requirements if you're flying domestically as well. And please make sure you fill all the documents before you leave. This is the ongoing thing which we keep getting and we keep sharing with you every single week, that make sure you fill all the documents before you leave Australia and before you leave India as well, because it's not easy to do it on the phone. Airlines won't let you go without that as well. I have seen recently there are a couple of things where people have a different name in their national IDs and different names in their passport, and they are filling forms according, because when they were asked that write the national ID or passport copies, it's all kind of messing up. I got the 2 cases recently came up. So I really want to give you guys a tip that when you are filling these forms, please write details as per your passport. Don't worry about that if they're asking, if their names are different national IDs and what really happened. And when you guys doing your COVID test, if not done yet, or making your certificate, please check that whether, your name is different in both or not. If it's different, make sure you update your vaccination certificate name as per your passport if you're planning to fly internationally ever. Because they probably won't let you go as well. And if you're making your OCIs or further documents, maybe try to make all of them based on your name on passport. Otherwise, really a very problematic thing. There is one question being asked by many people about OCI, that if you have OCI on previous passport and your new passport arrive, what happens? So the answer is, for that you generally have to update that on online. You can call Indian High Commission as well on their website, and I have seen recently some people where it was not updated, they traveled with the old passport copy as well. But I would still recommend you guys to update it beforehand, so don't wait till you actually fly. It's better as soon as you know that you might fly, or as soon as actually you get your passport, you know that you have all OCI already, so you don't have to really wait for the time, because this changes, guys, because of corona. There are so many things happening, and everywhere the staffs are less, so it can take a bit of time. And mind you that Christmas and New Year is approaching, so most of the offices are closed as well, so keep that in mind too. So if you guys planning to fly in January and any documentation needs to be done, you still have few days to at least start the process, because after that, in next couple of weeks, everything going to be slowed down. So that's really very, very important. And last not least, if there is any more questions you guys may have, we try to cover maximum things possible here, but there may be questions which can be individual to you guys. So you can always message us on our hotline, which is 04044033264. You can write underneath this particular episode. You can see our past 60 episodes as well, and all the social media channels of Australian Indian Radio, Chantrix Media, Brisbane Indian Times, All India Travel. They all are there. Please share this particular episode as well if you feel it's worthful with your friends on your Facebook, on your stories, or you can even share copy the link and share your friends on WhatsApp as well. You never know, a little tip can really save your friends. And don't forget, we have all the checklists with us as well. So if you guys need an Australia to India checklist, India to Australia checklist, we update that regularly every few days. So they all are free. You don't have to really book with us. We can still share with you. But knowing and doing the right thing is the most important thing, because a little thing can really mess up everything. Because anyway, the travel is not same like it used to be. It's still stressful. So it's better to just do everything beforehand. So when you fly, you go with the peace of mind. So that's really very important. So if you have any more questions, feel free to contact us. Please like our page, share, and give us feedback as well for this episode and any more things you guys may have. And I would also recommend you guys to like all the Facebook groups and pages relevant to your particular area. So if you're stuck in India, Australian stuck in India. If you're stuck in Australia, Indian stuck in Australia. There's so many pages where you can get information. Otherwise, if you can't keep up with all that, just follow this one and you will know it all. Thank you.
Well, definitely, because the answer is right here. So, it is very, very important that people do keep up to date and check. And just on the question of the COVID-19 and that the certificate, see, you can have your digital certificate on your phone. So it's linked to your Medicare. So if you got the Medicare app, if you go on the phone and link with the Medicare app, it comes in and you put in your passport number and everything. So it will come in that you are current, and you can always show anyone that digital certificate through your Medicare app. So, you don't have to get a third-party app. Through Medicare app, the official digital certificate, your proof of vaccination is there as well. Well, once again, this has been wonderful having your company on this show today. And as Tanvi has mentioned, that please do like those pages and go check out all the previous episodes as well, because there may be things that you might want to know. And of course, you have any other information that you think might need to be covered, please do let us know as well. Tanvi is always very accommodating and covers quite a range of topics in here, which are quite current and quite relevant. So once again, thank you for everyone for joining in, and thank you, Tanvi, for that very, very informative session.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy time ahead, and see you guys again. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.